Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series of Cryptography and Network Security. I am your instructor Dr. Ramesh Prajapati, and today we are going to discuss the obtaining the certificate in X.509. So let's start with the agenda. The first, obtaining the certificate in X.509, revocation of the certificates, and the third, the public key infrastructure. So let's start. The first topic is obtaining the certificate in the X.509. Now, in the previous lecture, we have seen the X.509 format and verification of the certificates. So today we are going to discuss how to obtain the certificate in a X.509. So how to obtain the certificate from the certificate authority. So now the first, any user can verify a certificate if he has the public key of the certificate authority that issue the certificate. Before start the communication between the two users, any user will send their public key to certificate authority, and the certificate authority will generate the certificate and send it to the user A. User A will capture the certificate and verify the certificate with the public key of certificate authority, because certificate authority's public key will be shared with the all the users in the network. Now you can see in this figure the X is represent, or X is called the certificate authority. Now there are two user C and user A. These are the two user, and if user want the certificate from certificate authority, so the first, the user C will share their public key to certificate authority. Now the certificate authority will generate the certificate and send it to the user C. Now here the notation of the certificate generation is X of C. X of C, it means the C certificate is generated by certificate authority X. Same for user A. User A want the certificate, so your user A will share their public key to certificate authority, and certificate authority will generate the certificate and will send to the user A. Now the notation of the certificate is the user, it means the certificate of A is generated by certificate authority. Now since the certificate are unforgeable, they are simple stored in the directory. It means that we have seen all the certificate will be stored in the one directory, and this then directories will be handled by the certificate authority. In directory entry, as you know, we maintain the directory, and in this directory entry, for each certificate authority include the two types of certificate. The first, the forward certificate. Second is a reverse certificate. So now the forward certificate, it means the certificate of X generated by other certificate authorities. It means let's see in this figure, there are W is a one certificate authority, and the X is another certificate authority. Now C and A, these two are the user. Now here X and W, it means the two certificate authority will communicate with each other and generate the certificate for each other. The X certificate is generated by the W, means W represents the certificate authority. It means the X, the notation of this certificate generation is the X certificate is generated by the certificate authority W. Now, so this process is called the forward certificate. Now, second is a reverse certificate. And reverse certificate, the certificate generated by the X, that are the certificate of the other certificate authorities. That means you can see the reverse certificate, the certificate of W. The certificate of W is generated by the certificate authority X. So this process is called the reverse certificate. Now in this figure you can see I already mentioned the forward certificate and the reverse certificate. Now I hope you clear this idea. Users subscribe to same certificate authority can obtain the certificate from the directory. That means now you can see in this figure there are, if we are considering the x1 is a one certificate authority and a is a user. Now user a want the certificate, so the first user a will share their public key to certificate authority x1. Now x1 is generated, this x1 will generate the certificate and is sent to the user a. It means that only user a knows the public key of certificate authority x1. So only the a will be get the certificate from x1 certificate authority. So here user subscribe to same CA can obtain the certificate from directly. Same for the user B. User B want the certificate, so the user B will share their public key to X2 certificate authority, and X2 certificate will generate the certificate and send it to the user B. So here user B, only user B will get the certificate from the X2. Now here you know the notation X of A. It means the certificate of A is generated by the X1 certificate authority, or we can say this the certificate of A is signed by the X1. Same X2 of B, it means the certificate of B is signed by the X2 certificate authority. Now the next topic, the multiple CAs, the multiple certificate authorities are there. Users subscribe to different certificate authorities may want to communicate with each other. That means here you can see in this figure there are two different certificate authorities. The first X1 and the second is X2. User A knows the public key of X2. Same, if user B want to communicate with user A, so user B should have the public key of X1. Right? So here there are two multiple certificate authority are there. Then users subscribe to different certificate authority and may want to communicate with each other. So it means that here the user A also share their public key to X2, and X2 will generate the certificate and it will send to the user A. It means now the user A will get the public key of X2 certificate authority. Same, user B want to communicate with user A, so the first user B user B will share their public key to X1 or certificate authority. Now X1 certificate will generate a certificate for B and is sent to the user B. Now user B knows the public key of X1 certificate. Now they will communicate with each other, or now they will verify the certificate to each other. Now the next, suppose A has obtained a certificate from the certificate authority X1 and the B has obtained a certificate from certificate authority X2. I already told you, right? It means the A has received the certificate from certificate authority X1. Same for B. User B has received the certificate from the certificate authority X2 only. Now the next topic, if A doesn't know the public key of X2, then B's certificate issued by X2 is useless to A, because A can read the B's certificate but A cannot verify the certificate. Now you can see in this figure here the mention the X2 of B. It means the B certificate is signed by the X2, or we can say that the B certificate is generated by the certificate authority X2. Now user A want to communicate with user B and user B want to communicate with user A. So the first, user A cannot verify the certificate of user B because user A doesn't know the public key of certificate authority X2. Same for B. B received the certificate from the user A and it represents the notation. The certificate A is generated by X1, or the certificate A will sign by the X1 certificate authority. So again here B doesn't know the public key of X1 certificate authority. So B cannot verify the certificate of user A. So here, so this line is mentioned, if A doesn't know the public key of X2, then B's certificate issued by X2 is useless to A because A can read the certificate, B's certificate, but A cannot verify the signature. Now here the user A can read the certificate of B, but it cannot verify the signature. But if two certificate authority have securely exchanged their own public key, then the following procedure will enable A to obtain the B's public key. Now in this scenario, what happens? Now the two certificate authority will communicate with each other and verify the certificate or exchange the certificate to each other. We will follow the following procedure will enable A to obtain the B's public key. Now let's see the procedure. The A obtain the certificate of X2 signed by X1 from the directory and A securely knows the X1 public key. Now you can see in this figure the X1, X2, these are the two different certificate authority. They exchange their public key to each other and verify and generate the certificate for each other. Now here we have mentioned the X2 of X1. The first X2 of X1, it means the X1 certificate will be signed by the X2 and it will be stored in his certificate authority repository, and the second copy is shared with the X2 certificate authority. I have mentioned in the red color X1 of X2 and X1 of and X2 of X1. It means the X2 of X1 means the X1 certificate is signed by the certificate authority X2. Same the X1 of X2, it means the X2 certificate of X2 is signed by the certificate authority X1. Now here I mentioned the A obtained the certificate of X2. It means here you have the A obtained the certificate of X2 signed by X1. I already told from the directory, and the A securely knows the X1's public key. User A already communicate with X1. Now X1 will generate the certificate and it's sent to the user A. Now user knows the X1's public key. Now the second scenario, so user A can obtain X2's public key from its certificate and verify X1's signature on the certificate. Now the A can obtain the X2's public key because the X2 certificate will be signed by the X1. It means now the A can receive the public key of X2. Now it verify the certificate of B. In second figure I have mentioned that if A want to communicate with user B and B want to communicate with user A, so B will share their certificate to user A and it represent the X2 of X1. It means that the X2 certificate will be signed by the X1. So it means the user A will know the public key of certificate authority X2. So user A will read and verify the certificate of user B. Now A then obtain the certificate of B signed by X2, and A knows A's copies of X2's public key. Now you can see over here, the A received the certificate of B. I have mentioned the X2 of B. It means the B certificate will be signed by it's generated by the X2. Now A, because A knows the public key of public key of certificate authority X2. Now A can verify the signature and securely obtain the B's public key. Right? We have already done. Now user A can verify the signature and securely obtain the B's public key. Now in this case, A has used a chain of certificate to obtain the B's public key. Now here we should follow the chain. If A has used the chain of certificate to obtain the B's public key. Now you can see in the notation X1509, the chain is expressed like this. X1 of X2, it means the X2 certificate will be generated by the X1, or X2 certificate is signed by the X1 certificate authority. Now second, X2 of B. X2 of B, it means the B certificate is signed by the X2 certificate authority. So this is the chain. Now the next, any level of hierarchy can be followed to produce a chain in this way. Now, for example, in this figure given below, the A can establish the certificate path to B in the following way. Now you can see this is the one certificate path to verify by the user A. First, we can see this figure. The W certificate is signed by the X, V certificate is signed by the W, X certificate is signed by the W. Now, so here we can follow the chain. Now, X of W, it means that the W certificate is signed by the X certificate authority. Now, the same second chain, the W of V, it means the certificate V is signed by the W certificate authority. Same the next chain, V of Y. It means the certificate of Y is signed by the certificate authority V. Same the Z of B. It means the certificate of B is signed by the certificate authority Z. So this is the hierarchy, and we should follow the hierarchy. Now this is the one certificate path from user A to B. It means that user A will verify the certificate of B with the following with this certificate path. Now, when A has obtained this certificate, and it can decrypt the certificate path in a sequence to recover a copy of B's public key. Now A receive this certificate, and it can decrypt the certificate path in the sequence to recover a copies of B's public key. Now you can see this is the hierarchy of obtaining certificate path. I already told you the X certificate is generated by the W. Now the W certificate is generated by the V. So in W's repository, we have mentioned the V of W. It means the W certificate is generated by the V, and the second point is W of V. It means the V certificate is generated by the W. Now, using this public key, A can send encrypted message to B, because now the user A knows the public key of user B and the public key of certificate authority X2. So now A can send encrypted message to B. Now B require A's public key. It can obtain in the similar way. Now if B want to verify the certificate of A, so B require the A's public key. Now the similar way the user B will verify the certificate of user A. So the path is, you can see the path Z of Y. The Z of Y means the Y certificate is signed by the certificate authority Z. Y of V. It means the V certificate is signed by the certificate authority Y. Now up to N, the X of A, it means the A certificate is signed by the certificate authority X. Now now this all about the obtaining the certificate and read and verify the certificate of each other. Now the next topic is the revocation of the certificate. The revocation of certificate, it means that every certificate will be having the validity. That means every certificate will be having the validity. That means the after the certificate in particular time period, the certificate will expire. So before certificate will expire, we have to renew that certificate. So this whole process is called the revocation of certificate. Now the certificate revocation is act of invalidating a certificate before its scheduled expiration date. Now certificate that are revoked, it means the revoked certificate are stored in the CRL, certificate revocation list. Now the next, the certificate the certificates have any expired time. It means the certificate need to be revoked if the user's private key has been compromised. So the certificate authority must revoke this certificate. Now the second, the user certificate has been compromised. That's why the certificate authority must also revoke this certificate. And the third is the user is no longer certified by the certificate authority. That's why the certificate authority must revoke this certificate. So this is all about the revocation of the certificate. Now each certificate authority must maintain the list consisting of all the revoke. Now it means the certificate authority must maintain the one list, and this list is called the CRL, means certificate revocation list. Now the certificate authority doesn't maintain the list of the expired certificate, and that is issued by the certificate authority, and it include those certificate issued to users and to other certificate authority. Now each certificate revocation list posted to the directory is signed by the issuer, and it include the following field. It means in X.509 certificate we have included some field. The same concept, the revocation of the certificate also it maintain the one list, and this list is called the certificate revocation list. And in this list it include the issuer name. Now issuer name, you know that the certificate authority name is considered as a issuer name, because the certificate authority will issue the certificate. Now the date the list was created, the date is already mentioned, the date the next CRL is scheduled to be issued, and the last is an entry for each revoked certificate. Now the certificate revocation list is shown in this figure. You can see in this figure. In this figure, first the algorithm parameters, and this pair is called the signature algorithm identifier. It means here it will use the algorithm for generating a signature. The next is issuer name. I already told you the certificate authority name as considered as a issuer name. Then the update date which is updated by the certificate authority. Now the next updated date of last date of the certificate expired. Now the user certificate serial number, revocation date, the same here, the number of revoke the certificate will be stored in the revoke certificate. And in this revoke certificate we have mentioned the two field, user certificate serial number and second is a revocation date. Now the signature is also available. In this signature we are considering three field: algorithms, parameters, and encrypted hash. And this sign is generated by the certificate authority's private key. Now this is all about the revocation of certificate. Now the next topic is the public key infrastructure. Now the public key infrastructure, what is public key infrastructure? First of all, so the public key infrastructure is also called the PKI, and the collection of the hardware, software, people and the procedure needed to create, manage, store, distribute and revoke the digital certificate based on asymmetric cryptography. Now you know the asymmetric cryptography. Asymmetric cryptography, we are using we are using two key for encryption and the decryption, and each and every user have a one private key and the public key. Now it provides the identification of the public key and their distribution. It means the PKI is identification of the user's public key and how to distribute this public key to different users. Now the main objective of PKI, public key infrastructure, is that developing a PKI is enable secure, convenient and efficient acquisition of the public key. It means as you know, the public key is not secure. So if you want to secure the public key of two users, so we will use the public key infrastructure. Now the figure shows the interrelationship among the key element of the PKIX model. PKIX means public key infrastructure X.509 model. Now you can see in this model, first of all we are considering the PKI users, which is public key infrastructure users. Now here the certificate CRL repository. It means all the certificate will be stored in this certificate repository. And second, the certificate revocation list. It means the revocation certificate is also stored in the certificate or CRL repository. Now end entity, it means we represent the end user, or we can say that number of user. Now the certificate authorities. Now as you know that certificate authority will generate the certificate. Now here each and every entity or each and every user want the certificate. So first it register their details to certificate authority. It means first we are considering the registration. It means that each and every user register their details to the certificate authority. Now in the initialization, second parameter is initialization. In initialization, each and every user before the communication to different user, each user share their public key and the user identity to the certificate authority. Now certificate authority will verify the users. Now the next is a certification. Certification, it means the certificate authority will generate the certificate with the public key of users and return to the client machine or client system. Now the next is a key pair recovery. Key pair recovery, as you know that we use the two key for encryption and the decryption, digital signature generation and the verification. Now if the some of the users has forgotten their keys, now we have to recover that key, because if user doesn't know the key, then he or she cannot communicate with each other. So here the certificate authority will generate the new key and it's sent to the users. Now the next is a key pair update. Each and every time the key pair is updated and the certificate authority will generate or issue the new certificate. And in this certificate, the certificate is signed by the private key of certificate authority and the affiliation of the certificate and the name of the and the name change. Now in the revocation request, it means the sum of the certificate will be expired in the future. So each and every user has to renew that certificate. So the first, the each and every user send their revocation request to the certificate authority. Now certificate authority will maintain the revoke list. Now next is the registration authority. Registration authority is associated with the an entity registration process. Now the certificate authority will maintain the public all the certificate and the certificate revoke list. Now the certificate publication, the certificate authority will also share all the certificate and revocation list to registration authority, and registration authority will send all the details to certificate or CRL repository. Now the certificate CRL retrieval, it means any end user can retrieve the certificate or CRL from the certificate or CRL repository list. Now the cross certification, it means if the multiple certificate authorities are there, so the certificate authority so the two different certificate authority will exchange the information for establish the certificate. So the two certificate authority will communicate with each other and generate the certificate for each other with the sign of private key of the certificate authority. Now the CRL issuer means certificate revocation list issuer. It means the certificate authority can delegate the public certificate to CRL issuer. Now the CRL issuer, it generates the CRL publication and it's sent to the certificate or CRL repository. So this is all about the PKI, and we have mentioned, I already explained you what is end entity. End entity is denoted it denotes the end users or devices. The certificate authority, it means the issuer of the certificate and the certificate revocation list. The next is the registration authority. The registration authority, it is the third party registration authority to perform the necessary checks on the person or a company requesting the certificate to confirm their identity. Now the CRL issuer, it is the optional component, and the CA can delegate the public CRL. The repository, it means term is denote any method for storing the certificate and CRL so that can be retrieved by an entity. Now the PKIX management function, so various functions are also supported in the management protocol, and the various functions are, we already discussed this: registration, initialization, certification, key pair recovery, key pair update, revocation request, and the cross certification. So this is all about the management function of PKIX. Now the PKIX working a group of defined two alternative management protocol. Now the PKIX is also manages the protocol. So there are two types of protocol. First, RFC 2510 protocol, and it defines the certificate management protocol. And in this certificate management protocol, the management function is explicitly identified by the specific protocol exchange. It means in CMP we use some specific protocol to exchange the message between different users. Now the next, the CMP is designed to be a flexible protocol. It is a flexible protocol able to accommodate a variety of technical, operational, and business models. Now second is RFC 2797 that defines the certificate management message, CMC, and this CMS refer to RFC 2630 and cryptographic message syntax. Now this all about the PKI. I hope you clear this idea. Thank you.